But at some point, the president's got to be willing to sit at that same table and have real negotiations and put some other plans on the table himself. And we've been willing to do it. We've got a lot of good ideas to solve the spending problem, but the president hasn't put anything on the table. And I think it's untenable to say, just give me another credit card so we can max that out. With you.
Well, take me into the room with the president. Tell me what took place. Why are you optimistic, pessimistic, somewhere in the middle? What did you learn?
Well, I'm normally a glass-half-full person, so I always look at things optimistically. It was good that we started a conversation. A divided government. You've got a Republican House and a Democrat Senate and White House, and there are clear differences across the country about how we get our economy moving again.
To a man that was at that meeting, Congressman Steve Scalise, a Republican out of Louisiana.
If you look at the bills we've passed, Brian, we've passed 18 different bills to fund all or parts of the government just in the last 2 weeks. Harry Reid has deep-sixed a lot of those. He was chided by the D.C. mayor just 2 days ago on the Capitol steps because we passed a bill to fund the District of Columbia, some area where we should have agreement.
In the crossfire tonight, Democrat David Cicilline and Republican Steve Scalise.
I support the way that Speaker Boehner's handled this. It's been a very tough situation. And look, I was in that room with him and a few of our members where he literally was putting option after option on the table to President Obama. And President Obama just sat back and said, I'm not even going to be willing to negotiate on anything. And so it's a tough situation when you've got a speaker saying, look, I'm here to negotiate. So we want to tackle the big spending problems. And I work with people like Paul Ryan and others that have good plans. That's just not been the case. That's just not been. We actually passed a bill to fund the National Institute of Health, to fund cancer research. It was a bipartisan vote. The day we passed it, President Obama issued a veto threat. We passed a bill to fund FEMA. To say, look, disaster relief should not be held.
Government,
if we can't get an agreement, if the president doesn't want to negotiate, you're saying shut it all down unless you get everything you want? That's not a reasonable approach.
Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise is the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. He joins me live here in studio. Congressman, thanks for being here.
But at some point, Brett, the president's going to have to step in and provide actual leadership that he's failed to provide up until this point. Because, again, he got everything he wanted. So maybe they're popping champagne at the White House tonight, but America lost because in 3 short months, we're going to be right back here again in the same spot without any of the problems being addressed. Well, Neil, look, millions of Americans are asking, where did $500 million of taxpayer money go that built this failed website? Look, I used to program computers for a living. This is not some glitch. This is a national embarrassment that doesn't work. Look, Neil, I tried to sign in. I got kicked out 4 times. Over 2 hours. I got to acknowledge this thing's a failure. It's not something that you can just say is a glitch. It's a debacle. You ought to go ahead and delay the penalties. And the fact that they've got to hold somebody accountable for spending over $500 million. Then they also want to know, how could you roll out a product like this without even testing it? Clearly, I used to develop software for a living before I came to Congress. We would pull all-nighters to make sure the day of the rollout, the product actually worked. And clearly they didn't do that. I tried getting on the site, and I spent over 2 hours. I got kicked out 4 times. I got a bunch of blank screens, a whole lot of please wait boxes, something you don't get in the private sector. The president likes talking about Apple and Kayak and other websites that actually do work. This is a system that, you go buy an iPad, even if it had a glitch, it still works. This is not a glitch. This is a national embarrassment.